Welcome to the Pistol Pete Report. I am your host, Pistol Pete, and on today's episode, I got some breaking news stories for you. So let me tell you what's been going on in the world pertaining to guns. All right, so first up, a man was pulled over during a routine traffic stop, was fully cooperative, and informs the officer that he is armed. And then this happens.
It's fine keeping me through.
I appreciate it, man, being very honest.
Oh, yeah, you okay? Hey. Put the gun down.
Put down.
You okay?
You got shot in the leg.
He got out of the car, followed every instruction that was given to him. Everything was going as it should. And that he was being honest, following the law, and acting responsibly. But then the situation took a horrible turn. Despite the man doing everything right, the officer, in an act of negligence, manages to shoot the man with his own firearm while attempting to disarm him. This wasn't an accident, it was a freak occurrence. This was the result of a complete lack of proper training. The officer, clearly unprepared to handle a legally armed citizen, makes a fatal error, causing a negligent discharge. The bullet strikes the man's leg, sending him to the hospital. And it sounds like this dude's about to get paid. And I wish him a speedy recovery. So in case you haven't heard, there's a case involving Hawaii's gun licensing laws in the U.S. Supreme Court. And they made a decision to not take it up. Here's the facts of the case. In 2017, Christopher Wilson, a Florida resident, was charged by the state of Hawaii for carrying a firearm without a permit. Wilson had legally purchased the gun in Florida, but was in Hawaii at the time of the alleged offense. He argued that the prosecution violated his Second Amendment rights. The Hawaiian Supreme Court, however, ruled in favor of the prosecution, stating that Wilson could still face charges for carrying a firearm without a permit. In its ruling, the court referred to a statement from the TV show Hawaii Five-0, and I'm not joking about that either. Wilson's legal team sought to have the case dismissed, citing the Supreme Court's 2022 Bruin decision, which expanded gun rights. However, the Hawaii Supreme Court declined to dismiss the case, and Wilson's challenge was revived. Wilson petitioned the U.S. Supreme Court to take up the case, seeking to have the Hawaii decision overturned. The U.S. Supreme Court, however, decided not to hear the case, leaving the Hawaii Supreme Court's ruling in place, at least for now. 3 justices of the U.S. Supreme Court suggested they may review the case at a later date. So, in case you haven't heard, there's been some
Significant developments
in Poland regarding firearm training in schools. A topic that's stirring up conversation. Let's take a look at the facts of the case. Poland has made firearm training mandatory for students in schools. The training involves teaching children from 13 to 14 years old. I read somewhere else it was 13 to 16, but nonetheless in that age range. How to assemble and operate firearms. The lessons were previously voluntary, but became mandatory in the last few months. This training takes place in schools, and students learn how to handle assault rifles and pistols under the supervision of their teachers. The goal is to prepare the younger generation to defend Poland, particularly in the light of recent tensions, which are escalating due to the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Poland has about 18,000 schools, and all of them will be receiving firearm training equipment as part of this mandatory program. While firearm lessons were initially optional, they became mandatory due to rising concerns over national security. Interestingly, many parents have expressed support, with some stating that they are proud that their children are learning how to defend their country. Poland's laws are less restrictive than places like the UK, and this approach aims to create a responsible gun culture, which proponents claim leads to lower gun crime rates. The goal isn't just about firearms, but about building a culture of respect and responsibility. The United States could learn a thing or two from Poland. And as you could see, places like Everytown are calling to block concealed carry reciprocity. All right, so of course I'm talking about the constitutional Concealed Carry Reciprocity Act, H.R. 38. It was introduced by Representative Richard Hudson. The bill aims to ensure that concealed carry permits are recognized nationwide, similar to how driver's licenses are. The key points of the bill are: the bill would make concealed carry permits issued in one state valid in all the other 49 states. People living in states where no permit is required to carry a concealed weapon would be able to carry nationwide if they can prove their residency. And initially, a Republican-backed issue, the bill now has growing bipartisan support, with some Democrats even joining in. The bill is a response to the current situation where gun owners must navigate a patchwork of concealed carry laws across state lines. This would be similar to like driver's licenses, which are recognized across state lines, making it illogical that concealed carry permits are not treated the same. which if you have a concealed weapons permit, then you know that states already have reciprocity with other states. So for example, my South Carolina permit, I can carry my gun in Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, Virginia, and West Virginia. And then when I hit Pennsylvania, I had to pull over to rest area, which was like 10 miles past the line. So am I in violation of the law or not? I haven't had a chance to pull over because in Pennsylvania, you have to separate the bullets from the gun, put one in the trunk, one in the front. I have to pull over and do all that fancy stuff. So I ended up getting an out-of-state concealed permit for Pennsylvania. And then I was good there. And all the other states that have reciprocity with Pennsylvania, South Carolina, I was good to go. They're not complaining about that, but all of a sudden now it's just this big issue. So, whatever. And in case you don't know, there are already people who can carry their guns concealed in all 50 states. They're called cops. So this is really just an extension to what is already going on. And I think it's a great idea because places like New York and New Jersey, where the bureaucratic hurdles and high costs make it difficult for residents to exercise their Second Amendment rights, particularly affecting low-income communities and minorities, which should be stressed as the importance of self-defense. It is a fundamental right, and that the Second Amendment was designed to empower individuals to protect themselves, not rely on the government or police. So there you have it. That's all I got for right now. I'll be back later with some more. Thanks for watching. This is the Pistol Pete Report.